presentation we have this afternoon is covering 5 presentations from in-country: the Philippines, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Korea. So we're going to have presentations started off with Mr. Mike Torreuillas, who is the International Transport Workers Federation Inspector in Cebu, in the Philippines. Mr. Torreuillas, you were in the room a moment ago. So yeah, if you would like to come up and give us your presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I think we can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, good afternoon. Allow me to introduce myself again. I am Nino Torreuillas. I am from Cebu, Philippines. I am currently the International Transport Workers Federation Inspector based in Cebu. So, before assuming as an ITF inspector, I am from Associated Philippine Seafarers Union. So my presentation will be quick and simple, as requested many times by Father Bruno. So I'll be talking about the state of human trafficking in the Philippines. So in the Philippines, please do understand we don't have much, I believe, based from my research, we don't have much recent data about human trafficking. So most of my research are quite a couple years behind on data. However, it still applies. And I may also incorporate a little current things that I have observed on field. So let us start. So ladies and gentlemen, today millions, as we all know, millions of people live unprotected from modern slavery and abuse. However, today is a start, because today we can change that. Right now, as an overview, children, women, and men are being enslaved and abused and exploited. And of course, part of those people are fisher folks. Trafficking and slavery still exists today. It seems like a never-ending problem. And I don't know what's going on with the world. If the problem exists now, it seems to me that the problem is getting worse. So that is why I hope by the end of this conference, I think few of the prior speakers have also managed to explain the trafficking situations in their own country. I hope by the end of this conference, we can come up with a more concrete plan on how we can help our fellow fisher folks who are also victims of slavery and trafficking in persons. So slavery is almost illegal everywhere. I'm saying almost because there are always an exception to the rule. But millions of men and women and children are trapped in modern day slavery around the world. For example, in India, entire families are enslaved in labor trafficking. In brick kilns, rice mills, and garment factories, working up to 20 hours a day. In Dominican Republic, women and children are used to be lured into sex trafficking with promises of school or a good paying job. In my country, the Philippines, children as young as 2 are sexually abused, leave for anyone in the world to watch through online sexual exploitation. In my very own city, we used to rescue, in my former work with International Justice Mission, we used to rescue one whole, we call it barangay, because most, not all, majority of the families there are engaged in sexual exploitation, online sexual exploitation. So they're using their own children as young as 2 years old, exploiting them sexually online. Ladies and gentlemen, there are estimated 50 million people held in slavery today. an estimated 90% of those of labor trafficking takes place in the private economy, like homes, businesses, and supply chains. And one of those chains is the fisheries sector. Human trafficking generates about $150 billion a year, with 2/3 coming from sexual exploitation. So these are the most common forms of trafficking. We have labor trafficking. We have, of course, the oldest one, sex trafficking. And now, the very atrocious one, in my opinion, is online sexual trafficking of children. So labor trafficking, as we all know, is slavery, and traffickers and slaveholders use deception, threats, and violence to force vulnerable people in grueling labor or sexual exploitation for little to no pay. So individuals are often trapped in labor trafficking, are often denied life necessities like food and shelter. Let me just skip that. Part of the mechanisms of labor trafficking is the use or the employment of false debt. And this is where most of our migrant fishers are victimized. They are commonly used to trap laborers in a cycle of debt that is by design impossible to pay back. Small advance payments accrue interest faster than it can pay. In my country, I have encountered situations wherein fisher folks used to apply for debts from their supposedly employers, only to accrue interest faster than the actual payment for them. So once they're done with the debt, it's too late for them to back out because they have to go again on shore to pay the accruing interest. So 1 in 4 victims of forced labor trafficking is a child. 90% of forced labor takes place in private economy, like homes, again, businesses, and supply chains. Sex trafficking. Every year, millions of vulnerable children and women are trafficked or sexed around the world. Traffickers often take advantage of vulnerable women by promising them money and a proper job. Instead, they are forced to sell their bodies over and over again. In some instances, traffickers will trick families into giving up young girls. Now, in the digital age, the online sexual exploitation of children has increased dramatically. Sexual abusers anywhere in the world with the internet access can now direct and live stream sexual abuse from their private homes. Almost 1.7 million children are exploited in sex trafficking. Survivors of sex trafficking have described being beaten, forcibly injected with narcotics, and forced to watch the abuse of their own children. Over $150 billion a year is generated from human trafficking, 2/3 of that from commercial sexual exploitation. Then one of the last form is the online sexual exploitation of children. Children are sexually abused by traffickers who live stream the abuse of customers from anywhere in the world willing to pay and direct sexual abuse from their own home. Together, we can stop it if we just make a concrete plan, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, recently, we see a trend with the use of AI, where mature women perform online, but AI edited their faces, editing them with the faces of young children. So the typical case involves child sex traffickers who abuse children in person for online streaming. We have child victims, usually the trafficker's child, nephew, niece, or neighbor. Foreign child sex offenders, unfortunately, offenders anywhere in the world who pays for and direct the abuse. In 2018, there is approximately 5.9% of women aged 15 to 49 years reported that they have been subject to physical and or sexual violence by a current or former intimate partner in the previous 12 months. Moreover, women of reproductive age around 15 to 49 years often face barriers with respect to their sexual and reproductive health and rights. The Department of Social Welfare and Development of the Philippines has reported in 2020 that there are serving at around 1,205 trafficking victims, of whom 849 were female and approximately 75% were adults. So there are 2,194 victims served in 2019. Of these, the government reported 629 victims of labor trafficking, 361 victims of sex trafficking, including 157 child victims of online sexual exploitation, and 5 children engaged in armed conflict. It was, however, unclear in the report if the remaining 207 victims faced forced labor or sex trafficking. So for forced labor, there are approximately 29.5% reported were male and 70.5% were reported female. So these exploitations were around agricultural sectors, construction, and also, of course, fishing. So our trafficking law in the Philippines right now is the Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act, or what we call RA 10364. It is an expanded anti-trafficking law because it now also includes trafficking in children, because our former trafficking law does not include children, online sexual trafficking of children. So in the Philippines, a child is a person under 18 years of age, or those who over but not unable to fully take care of themselves or protect themselves. So this is the very definition of trafficking in our country, ladies and gentlemen. Trafficking in person refers to the recruitment, obtaining, hiring, providing, offering, transporting, transfer, maintaining, harboring, or receipt of persons with or without the victim's consent or knowledge within or across national borders by means of threat or use of force or other forms of coercion, abduction, fraud, deception, abuse of power or of position, taking advantage of the vulnerability of the person, or the giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation, which includes a minimum, the exploitation or the prostitution of others or other forms of sexual exploitation, forced labor or services, slavery, servitude, or removal of or sale of organs. It also includes the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, adoption, or receipt of a child for the purpose of exploitation, or when the adoption is induced by any form or consideration for exploitative purposes. So recruitment, when you transfer, that's already trafficking in our country. Under the expanded law also, we now also punishes attempted trafficking in person, accomplices and accessories to the commission of prohibited acts now also have criminal liability. A spouse may also now be held liable for trafficking. And if the victim is a child, the penalty is life imprisonment and a fine of not less than 2 million pesos to 5 million pesos. So these are the prohibited acts. I would like to emphasize on death bondage for fishers because this is the #1 modus operandi in the Philippines, wherein people portraying as employers would offer debts, would offer cash in advance to these fishers, only to find out later on that they have to pay more than what they owe them. So, forced labor and human trafficking in the fisheries in the Philippines. A string of recent reports indicated that forced labor and human trafficking in the fisheries sectors are a severe problem. These reports suggest that fishers, many of them are migrant workers, ladies and gentlemen. Victim describes often illness, physical injury, psychological and sexual abuse, and also death are very rampant on these situations. So the recent trend in the fisheries sector, such as overfishing, illegal fishing, and a shift in sourcing the workforce from high-income to middle and low-income countries mean that more relatively low-cost migrant workers are employed by the fisheries sector. Lack of training, inadequate language skills, and lack of enforcement of safety and labor standards in our country make these fishers particularly vulnerable to forced labor and human trafficking. Which is why, I'd just like to add this one, which is why we are very privileged to be in partnership with Stella Maris Philippines. We have the National Director with us, Father John Mission, and of course, the Chaplain of Manila, Father Paulo Prigol with us, who's been advocating for the fishers really well. Their advocacy program report for the year 2023 and 2024 includes a lot of programs, such as recently they now have the rollout of comprehensive pre-departure information package and rights-based policy advocacy to empower Filipino migrant workers. So they also have different focus group discussions, training of trainers for coordinators. They do a lot of diocesan visits because as we all know, Philippines is really mostly a Catholic country. They have module rollout, community organizing, family networking, capacity building, fishers community visits, and of course, most importantly, Stella Maris also does direct assistance. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry, these are data from the other country. So ladies and gentlemen, human trafficking is really a common problem. In political science, we call it inter-boundary problem. So it is a problem that we all share, we all understand. So, and I hope, and I pray, and I call for us to make an action before we end our conference this week, to make a concrete action to address this problem so that we can help our fishers all over the world. And I call upon you as a Filipino to please help my fellow Filipino fishers because most of them are really abused by these traffickers. And that's my time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nino. Thank you for that very detailed presentation of the trafficking in the Philippines and elsewhere. So we've now got Mrs. Apinya Tajit, who is the National Director of Stella Maris Sriracha in Thailand. Would you join us for your presentation? Thank you. I think your slides are there, so thank you very much.
May I introduce myself? I'm Apinya, Deputy Director of Stella Maris in Thailand. In 2012 and 2013, I awarded East One Award in Personal Welfare and Seafarer Center of the Year. And in 2014, I award the Just Special Award in Geneva, Switzerland. And after that, the United States government suggestion to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, why you don't work, you are yellow card country, why you don't work with Apinya from Stella Maris? Because she's well known in seafarer welfare. So in that time, the government asked me to work with them. In that time, I signed a contract with the ILO for Ship to Shore Right project in the first time for 2 years. And after that, the Seafood Task Force member asked me to run the project funded by Market Care. And then the government put me in the committee, National Advisory Committee in Labor Exploitation, that why I can select all data. I was asked from the host to have 3 questions that the assistance that we are providing to the migrant employed on board Thai fishing vessel. We have the reason in the second slide, but I will show that what I do in the fishery sector. We training all the fishery with CPR training, requesting help to report an incident and filing the complaint. And still be the ITF contact network Asia Pacific and handle the case referred from ITF London office by the seafarer support. So the case seafarer and the fisherman will come to me in Bangkok. Living at sea, if you fall into the water or your boat capsized, we training firefighting, transport of sick or injured crew, and animal in the sea. Why we have training for the fishermen? Accident and fisher loss at sea, 230 cases during the COVID time. In the COVID time, maybe they have forced labor because of the fishermen cannot come to discharge or loading the cargo, burning inside and cannot go stand on land because they did not get any vaccine. The people on land was afraid of the fishermen. So Stella Maris worked with the Ship Owner Association. We share the cost to get 2 doses of vaccine for the fishermen, more than 1,500 seafarers in Rayong province. 124 cases of fisher lost at sea, Thai 44, Myanmar 21, Cambodia 9. 53 fisher were found and were alive. Thai 19, Myanmar 24, Cambodia 5. 53 body of fisher were found. Thai 33, Myanmar 19, Cambodia 1. The cause of the fishing crew falling into the water, 130 cause unknown. 65 people fell into the water, 20 jumping into the water by themselves, 9 accidents until 6 cases. Why we need support for training all the fishermen? Because of when they missing at sea or the illness, when we say about safety and health care training, what do you do with the vessel that in the deep sea? So we need to go another step. We work with the Royal Thai. Now we rescue team to rescue them immediately because when we got a complaint, the doctor, the nurse don't know about the sea matter. And the Royal Thai now we don't know about the doctor, so we mix them together in the hotline to rescue the people be on time because we found that only 8 minutes. If the heart beat, if they cannot take a breath or they pass away, only 8 minutes can bring the heartbeat back. That's why we must do it immediately for training CPR. the children that we are encountering to providing material and spiritual. This is why we work with the local Thai Navy. Because of this accident, we start to have health and safety training and advocacy work with the government. We work with administration of the Operation Center for Maintaining National Maritime. We have the state, after we got the complaint, we have naval support. We have command ship aircraft in the operation risk, directing operation in the incident area, coordinated ship and aircraft operation in the performing mission, and coordinate various units during the joint to operation to help the fishermen and seafarer in accident at sea with the hotline number 1669. And now the Seafood Task Force have training, health and safety in their supply chain. Because of I got the fundraising from the Seafood Task Force, we make a research what's the situation when accident. So we have the curriculum and we spread our curriculum to all the government and all the Seafood Task Force to have training. Stella Maris already training 18 class funded by Market Care and ILO and the Ship to Shore Life Project Southeast Asia. And now we need to train more and we need support for training. In the ship visit, we provide the medical care and welfare and the Christmas gift because of every day when we visit the ship, we have to search in the case also. If someone needs our counseling, someone needs our help, or someone needs our air company to be interpreter translate to the hospital. And we have the vaccine project for the children of the fishermen. Every month, nearly 100 children or sometimes 70 to get vaccine due to their age. And we have advocacy with the team. We work with the loyal Thai police as I be the committee expert of the police. And we work with attorney and work with the court. They have meeting together and try human trafficking with the attorney. What can NGO could do to prevent trafficking and exploitation of migrant fishers, especially the one come from Cambodia and Myanmar? This is the issue that I got. Introduce and help foster mutual understanding and positive relation between local Thai and migrant community, including law enforcement in maritime, business and human rights. Second, organizing activities such as training, meeting and outreach work with sensitivity to migrant workers' schedule. Provide migrant workers with information on their labor rights and the importance of the collective organization. The greater the number of people organizing, the less risky it will be for individual workers to form and participate in the group. Support migrant informing association to meet their group need by carefully assessing the different social characteristics and needs of group members based on, for example, the gender, employment, sector, and documentation status. And we work with the business and human rights. We work engage with business sector to foster an understanding of the worker rights, to freedom of association, and the benefits of upholding this right for both workers and businesses. Handling case complaint. The fishing vessel was abandoned in Somalia. In that time, we have 2 vessels, and we work with the Royal Thai Navy. In that time, I report to our government, we have to return home our seafarers back. And then I report in the Naval Post in Bahrain, and then report to the EU Naval. I asked the situation on board that how many diesel you have, how many days, how many internet you have, how many days, right? How many food you have. And then we asked the EU to help our people. The EU said, if the vessel coming out of Somalia, we will intercept and then help your people. And after that, we try to negotiate with the ship owner, and I said, don't negotiate, don't intercept our vessel. We will return our offshore people, 32, and then we filed a case with the 30 crew members. Supreme Court has ruled that the employer had to pay 9 million plus to all the crew members who were received into fishing in Somalia. They are in the process of investigation and enforcing the case. And then the 2 Thai crew members was recruitment, sent to the Cambodia, and then selling to the Malaysia, and then put in the jail because illegal enter to Malaysia water. After that, when the Malaysia sent them back, the Stella Maris in Songkhla told me, sister, I feel something in this case. Why the government investigation not identified as human trafficking case? I said, okay, no problem, we follow up. And then we will go to that village. We will interview father, mother, and the crew member, and after that, we got all information. Then we filed a case in human trafficking case, and now we arrest suspect for 9 persons, and we got 500,000 baht for 2 crew members. Recommendation to the government, all governments, and amend the labor relation to allow migrant workers to form the union and serve on the union's executive council. Ratify the ILO freedom of association and protection, the right of organized convention, and the right to organize to collective bargaining convention. Educate the employer of migrant workers regarding their responsibility to respect their worker rights, and alert them that certain actions such as keeping migrant identification document violate to Royal Ordinance concerning to management of employment of migrant workers adopted in March 2018. Ensure migrant fishers are safe from relation when they form and participate in the union or in the group. Reform migrant fisher documentation process to make it simpler and cheaper so that they can move easily and maintain a document status, and they can do it without relying on broker. Ensure employers do not require migrant fisher to use the broker. Promote transparency in the application process by providing clear information on who can apply, which authorities are involved in approving application, and what fee migrant fishers are required to pay. Encourage local authorities to publicly promote and support migrant cultural events and communicate to the general public that migrants are welcome members of the community in the country, not within Thailand. Thank you so much. This is the Stella Maris Award, the Chief Bureau in 2020.
First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to actual Stella Maris and Father Bruno from International Stella Maris, who gave this opportunity to present our suffering of the crisis in Myanmar, to present a little bit of the fisheries sector in Myanmar. So in my presentation, I will present 3 parts of the presentation. So the first one is a brief introduction of the Myanmar fisheries sector, and then I will present the current situation of migrant fishermen from Myanmar in the Asia, especially in the Thailand. And the third one is how our Catholic Church of Myanmar take response on the fisher industry, especially for the fishermen in Myanmar or other countries. So, an overview of the fisher sector in Myanmar. So, fishery sector is Myanmar main economies and the main for the food security. And Myanmar also has extended their exclusive economic zones to 486 kilometers along the Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, and the Andaman Sea. And we will find the three categories of fisheries in Myanmar. One is the freshwater inland fisheries, marine fisheries, and aquaculture. And we can also find the fishing ground in Myanmar. Three fishing ground. The first one is Khin coastal fishing ground, and the Ayeyarwady Delta coastal fishing ground, and the Nethari coastal fishing ground. And our government also entered the relevant fisheries laws. So the first one in law related to the fishing rights of the foreign fishing vessels, and aquaculture law, Myanmar marine fisheries law, and freshwater fisher laws. And I will continue present about the current situation of the Myanmar fishermen across the Asia. So, according to the FAO reporting, in 2017, there is 40.1 million people worldwide work on the fishing process. So in Myanmar, there are 3.2 million people employed in the fishery and aquaculture sector. In Southeast Asia, Myanmar has the highest number of anglers involved in marine capture fisheries. As you know now, Myanmar is political shifts from democracy government to de facto military government. In this situation, in a country in Myanmar right now, uncertainty for the livelihood. So millions of Myanmar people, especially young people, try to flee the country and seeking better livelihood possibilities, especially in Thailand. So therefore, there is a lot of Myanmar migrant fishermen, and they suffer or abuse in Thailand. So and there is also a lot of illegal migrant fishermen in Thailand. So when we find the situation of the Myanmar migrant fishermen in Asia or Southeast Asia, the first one is the forced labor and rights abuse. So Myanmar migrant fishermen, they suffer their employers routinely confiscate their identification cards, force them to work more than 40 hours a day with no rest, and pay them less than the minimum wages, and issues payment only once or twice a year instead of monthly, and forbid them to change employers, and force them to work in dirty and dangerous conditions. And they also had neither seen nor signed standardized contracts detailing payment terms and work conditions, which fleet owners are required to give them by law. This photo is once we visited to the Myanmar fisher family who working in the Thailand. And aware of the contract, assistant of what they just signed and the document they were told to sign at employment offices. And despite some improvements in recent years, Myanmar fishermen say that working conditions are still abysmal. And the second one, the most we can find in the fishermen's situation from Myanmar is the slavery fishermen as the trafficking and abuse. So thousands of Myanmar people are trafficked into Thailand fishing industry, which is on the one Britain's biggest supplies of fish. And Myanmar fishermen working for 22 2 years as a slave in Indonesia. In this case, it's a very significant case in Myanmar, and it is already last 10 years or 5 years. And some fishermen, they really traffic as modern slavery, especially in Malaysia. So it is the current situation of the Myanmar migrant fishermen. And the last present, I want to present how our Catholic Church of Myanmar take the response on the fisher industry in Myanmar. So our organization is Guyana Mission Social Solidarity. The other we can call Caritas Myanmar. We are the one to the organization. We take care and we respond of the fishermen, for the migrant fishermen in Myanmar. So we are last 5 years we are focused on the freshwater inland fisheries intervention. And we are also providing the awareness of the forests, migration and human trafficking, and providing education and health services, and fisher tools and materials, and providing victim assistance. So our main donor is Caritas Bay, Caritas Japan, and here I also want to mention that is the Caritas South Korea. Because this area is the very small island, and there is a very poor small fisher families. So Caritas South Korea provided for them for the education, health, awareness or something like that, almost 3 years. Yeah. So we thank you to our Caritas member organization, Caritas Bay and Caritas Japan and Caritas South Korea. And we also want to express sincere thanks to the Stella Maris Thailand, because they also always inform us what happening in Thailand about the Myanmar migrants workers. And we also thanks to the Taichung Stella Maris. Once they provide our fishermen, especially seafarer also. So they call us from the Taichung, and we can connect with their family, like a family unification program for our fishermen from Myanmar. So thank you for your attention, and thank you.
So we have Mrs. Sopheak Tek, who's the Program Director for Anti-Trafficking Caritas in Cambodia. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Bishop, Father, Sister, and ladies and gentlemen here. I'm Sopheak from Caritas Cambodia and Program Director of Thailand Trafficking. And I would like to thank to the organizer, especially to Stella Maris, who inviting Caritas Cambodia to be a part of this international conference. Even we are not Stella Maris families, but we are brother and sister, right? Because Caritas and Stella Maris is the same. Yes, we are under the arm of Catholic Church. We are the same. So I hope next time I can present myself as a Stella Maris, because now in Cambodia we not yet established Stella Maris, but in the future we hope that we will have. So I'm going to present about the situation of trafficking in Cambodia. just a very brief, as maybe you already know that Cambodia is a sole country who are sending a lot of Cambodian migrant people to the neighboring country, especially to Thailand, Vietnam, to Malaysia, to Indonesia, to Korea, and also now to Saudi Arabia. Yes, so a lot of the movement of Cambodian migrants to the outside the Cambodia, and also Cambodia is being now that as a transit country, that the trafficker they use the geographical of Cambodia to build the network and operate within the regions, and the trafficker also try to exploit the Cambodian victim across the country and also to other country by using the what's called like Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Malaysia, and China. And now Cambodia become a destination country where the victim, both Cambodian and non-Cambodian citizens were brought to Cambodia, and mostly they are abused in any form of human trafficking. And now a lot of cases of online scamming in Cambodia, and the survivor mostly is the foreigner, and especially from China, from Bangladesh, some is from Thailand, and from Myanmar also. Regarding to the fishing, the movement of Cambodian migrants who work on Thai fishing vessels is often influenced by the various socio-economic factors, including poverty, lack of employment in the country, and the demand of the cheap labor in Thailand fishing industry. Because you know the Cambodian people, they are unskilled, and they just they provide a labor work, and they just cross the border to Thailand with illegally and undocumented. And sometimes the owner in Thailand they like to have the undocumented worker because they happy to pay with the low rate to the migrant. So Thai fishing vessels who employ Cambodian seafarers, sometimes they operate in different regions. Sometimes they go in the national water, for example, like local in the Thailand Sea. But sometimes our Cambodian migrants, they were brought by the Thai fishing vessel to another country. Like sometimes we found them in Africa, in Kenya, and also sometimes from South China Sea. Yes. So from the Thai fishing vessel, they brought Cambodian migrants to many or to the international sea water. So this means that the Thai fishing vessel venture into the international water where they may operate under the agreement of or license issued by regional fishery management organization. And also it's worth mentioning that the operation of the Thai fishing vessel, particularly in international waters, has been subject to the scrutiny due to concern about the illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing practice, as well as labor right abuse. Effort to address the issue include increased monitoring and enforcement by the national authority, cooperation between country and all FMOs, and initiative to promote sustainable fishing practice and protect the rights of workers include Cambodian seafarers. So for the mostly of the Cambodian returnee or the survivor of the human trafficking, they repatriate or they return to Cambodia from Indonesia, from Malaysia. Yes, mostly from Indonesia, from the Ambon Island. Yes, from Ambon Island. It's around 700 Cambodian migrants was deported from Ambon Island, Indonesia, and also from Malaysia. And you know, most of them come with empty and with nothing. But they come along with many problems, and also with the debt bondage, and also with the sickness. So, regarding to the question of the organizer, they asked what about the program of Caritas Cambodia to implement to combating in human trafficking. This I just want to highlight that Caritas Cambodia we not specific focusing on only fishing or only the seafarer, but we work on all the form of human trafficking, include forced labor, forced marriage, online scamming, sexual trafficking. Yes. We include all the form of human trafficking, and we support all the victims or survivor of human trafficking. And our main objective is to provide comprehensive support, care, and protection to victims and survivors of human trafficking, for labor slavery, and internet scamming in Cambodia. Right now, Caritas Cambodia we got funding support mainly from the USAID, CIP fund, and also we support grant from IOM and also from IGM International. But they are mostly focused on the protection. And now we need the support for the prevention activity, because without prevention, the trafficking issue will not reduce. Yeah. So the key component of the program is focusing on 4 P's: prevention, protection, and prosecution. Of course, partnership is across all the activity. Next, I will present about how Caritas Cambodia deal with the many cases of victim or survivor and returnee of migrant. So this we can starting from the getting complaint from the survivor themselves, from the family, or from the relative or other organization that they complain to us and they ask us to help. So after we get the complaint, firstly we make like an interview to collect the information of the case, and then we intake if we identify the case is in our target, and after that we collaborate with the relevant ministry, NGO, and also include the embassy in the destination country for repatriation process. After the repatriation, when the migrant or the survivor they arrive our country, we provide protection and service in the shelter. So during the stay in the shelter, our project try to provide orientation session to the victim, also provide support for the hygiene and other basic needs during their stay in our shelter, and also provide counseling to the victim, both in the group and also peer counseling in the victim. And of course, during at that time, Caritas have to have a both with the anti-human trafficking police under the Ministry of Interior to identify the case whether they are the victim of human trafficking or they are a perpetrator. And after the identifying the case from the anti-human trafficking police, of course the Ministry of Social Affairs had to work very closely with Caritas Cambodia to identify the need of the victim, whether we can provide any assistance support or can connect them to the relevant partner to provide complete support to the survivor. And also during stay in our center, all the survivors are engaged, encouraged to engage in all the social activity, and also we organize like a short course training in the center during their stay. So after that, reintegration process to the community is made by Caritas and also collaboration with the Ministry of Social Affairs and the local authority. So during the integration support, we also provide a recovery package to support to survivors, both food and non-food items, so that they can use during the recovery period, at least for free. And after the reintegration, we also provide the restoration or aftercare support to the victim, include their family at the community level. So this also includes prevention or prevent to be re-migrate or re-traffic. With this, we provide like assistance support, include the basic needs, and also we support to the survivor and family who are willing to access to the vocational skill training or other technical skill training, and also support for the income generation activity at the local level. Yes, of course, all the activity we work in collaboration and networking among NGO, partner, and also the governments. This is just some activity highlights. And for the last of my presentation, I'm going to show you the short video that we provide to support to the case from Somalians who are victims in the Thai district USA. I still have time? No? Just 1 minute? Okay, no. Actually, I want to play the video, but no. Yeah, just 1 minute I want to talk because yesterday I heard from the presentation from the Taiwan government. If I'm not wrong, and I hear that there is a lot of Cambodian case in Taiwan. Actually, I want to talk, but I can't find the presenter already. But for me, I am happy to work together if possible, because as Cambodian people and as Caritas, we don't know, we a little bit surprised when we hear that many cases of Cambodian people are here. So if we can talk and we can work together in the future, I'm happy to work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now we're moving to Korea. We're going east, and it's Father Paul Hyunwoo, who is the port chaplain. Father, please.
안녕하세요. Oh, you know. From you know, when I see the fishermen, international, and I ask them, have you learned any Korean language? And some fishermen says to me, Sibaloma, which means very bad word in Korea. This is like F word. So this is a fisherman's situation. Yeah, right there from Indonesia, something like very bad word from the captain, or that's the situation on the ocean. Oh, what's going on? Beforehand, I'd like to say thank you, Stella Maris and your eminence. Thank you for your attending. And I love to see you guys all, because the last time from the Glasgow, the World Congress was good time. I'm learning. This is about my third year to be in support in Stella Maris. And also I'm working for migrants in Chan Diocese, and also child care center for the undocumented family migrant workers. I'd like to say something about okay. Yeah, current situation about the fishing vessels, and what is the problems faced, and what we do for fishers from Stella Maris in Port. And this is about numbers. This is the years there, the ocean going fishing. This is the deep sea, and there the coastal sea. You can see that it's increasing. Nationalities. The point is Indonesia. Fishers, increasing, and Philippines just slightly, and Vietnamese almost same. Myanmar just slightly increasing, and drop number from China, and others. This East Timor fishermen in Korea. So deep sea fishing vessel. So Indonesia is top. Also, coastal sea, both areas, Indonesians. So why I'm wondering, it's really happy, I see from the Indonesian priest and working in the sea area and helping fishermen. I want more contact with you by SNS, or we need to get together. And Philippines, they working in the merchant vessels, the big ship, cargo, container, LPG, and ocean-going fishing vessel. Drop the number, the path comparison. And Vietnamese, they are working fishermen in near coastal. This is the employed seafarers by kind of business. In Korea, we have a different law under the law. Over 20 tons vessels. This is under the Seafarers Act. And under 20 tons, Korea, we have special local law about employed permit system, and this is the minimum wages applied. So it's very tricky. So Korean captains and ship owners, they trickily, maybe, not really sure, but trickily they use this situation. The reason why many from overseas, they organized over 20 tons vessels in deep sea fishing vessels, and they put some deposit. That means runaway deposit. This is about $800 US, and they lend the money and then put their agency between the countries, And then when they come to Korea and go to fishing, and then they have no salary until 3 months. This is ridiculous, you know. And no money to sending back to their families or homes, impossible, because this is like human trafficking. Captain, they was the first to capture passports and bank account, because captains and ship owners, they worry about these guys maybe run away. Because in Korea, seamen is really hard work, but in the land, in the farm or construction, is more money there. So many seamen, they run away in the land and they just working in the land. And visa is expired, undocumented. So that's a big problem. So about 400,000 people undocumented or foreign overseas workers, Korea. So the government should really, how to manage both, because seamen come here and they run away to land, and how can manage both ways. Anyway, this is the situation. Yeah, this is the over 20 tons coastal vessels, but 40% is from the overseas, and deep sea fishing vessel for about 80%, 78% is from overseas. We need that. Korean government need these people, because Korean young people, they just want to try to get work in IT. Hardworking is always, over 50, 60 people, aging and uneducated. These people treat from overseas fishermen really, that way. Yeah, this is problem faced. Tough job. The Korea is made up the sea on 3 sides. But fishing boat members are in difficult occupation group, so Korean workers are leaving and migrant workers are increasing in the sea. But people are not interested in their well-being, because it's invisible people. So Pope Francis encourages invisible people don't exist. And this is the discrimination is there. In every country maybe it's a little bit. I think Korea after Japanese occupation, after Korean War, and quickly developing country very quickly. So this is the gap between the generation. It may be caused, some elderly people, local people in Korea, they don't really accept from overseas different color really hard, because they had no opportunity to educate it. Then after the Korean War, no education. These people now in their 70, 80. The salary is low. Comparison, each country is different salary low. But Korea, seamen's salary is high, but it's lower than the land. That means people escape to the land of finding job. This is the situation. Poor accommodation for fishermen. In container and one room, just 5, 6 people together. And I heard in deep sea vessels, I watched some documentaries. There are 2 bathrooms in the ships. The one bathroom for the captain and one bathroom for all fishers together, using very unfair way. And verbal abuse, just something effort in Korea, they just listen and they can repeat, just memorize how many times they heard about it. This is the obvious. It's not easy to get close to, ship owners and the captain. They are old age and a little bit uneducated. Not all, but some, I think some. These people, make. It's really easy to say hello to seafarers and fishers. It's really good, but they don't like to get close to learn another culture, another language from especially East Asia area. Shortage of the manpower. Actually, Stella Maris in Korea, only two. Incheon port, I came from Incheon, nearby North Korea. And Busan, you know more about Busan. Busan is capital city. And Seoul is the capital city. Incheon is just nearby Seoul. When you come to Korea, you must get through the Seoul, Incheon airport, and Incheon International Port there. So I live in Incheon. So when you come to Korea, take a Stella Maris. It's a say hello. So the Bishops' Conference in Korea, they said, okay, Incheon Port, Stella Maris, you're looking at the whole sea about the West Sea and South. And Busan, East whole sea. How? It's impossible. So I continually asked the Stella Maris with Bruno and Paolo, how can we make more Stella Maris in each diocese in Korea? Because we need more people, more chaplains. Only 2 chaplains have no power. So we want to make some dense networking. It's not enough networking in Korea for Stella Maris. Yes, we are doing last time we pick up and drop service Indonesian fishers and Vietnamese because they're living in the whole Korea, and when they had the holidays for about 2 years working in Korea, they just want to go back to their home and get trained. And the airport, there's a little bit transportation is a little bit hard, so we pick up and drop port service. And everyone doing this Easter, Christmas. And so we are little connection about Migrant Center. Migrant Center, we have charitable medical center, all volunteers, doctors and nurses connected, and if we have some fishermen injured or fishermen run away from their job and then become undocumented, and we refer to the pastoral care of the migrants, and we solve out the problems. We remember the Remembrance Day, like some special day, if some seafarers, fishers get married in their own country, and they have the holiday, some gifts to them, and then encourage them to get something essay contest to participate in Korean. Yeah, they like sports, so I visited islands. Because in Incheon area, there are more than 100 islands there. This is not more than Philippines. We try to visit each island to say hello. Yeah. As the Pope said, invisible does not mean non-existent. Stella Maris Incheon continues to promote its supporters and believers to recognize the migrant and fishing crews working for our country's interests, and customers are not less precious foreigners than their own citizens, but people with human rights to live with. So I love 2 years ago, it was campaign. No shipping, no shopping. I love it. When I visit the port, say hello, and then we do the same things, and then take the video, and this is, I think, this is my great opportunity to get close for seafarers and fishers. Thank you, Stella Maris, and I brought some gifts for you, traditional snack and sticker for Incheon Port, Stella Maris, and badge. Please take it. Contact us. We're gonna be with you. Thank you.
Please.
I am Father Ari from Migration Workers Concern Desk. I just want to ask questions, especially to the presentation of Mrs. Apinya. I think in the presentation we saw that there are 20 people who decided to jump into the sea. And I think this is really worrying, because to decide by yourself to jump into the sea, that requires a lot of, you have to have a lot of problems to do so. And I think the training for safety, it will not cover this. It will not give answer to this. So I think this is something that Stella Maris perhaps we should look at. And the other question is, I just would like to ask for your opinion, because I have read in some articles about fishery association in Thailand. I think recently they asked to decrease the penalties for IUU fishing, and also even reintroduce some practices that were banned after Thailand received the yellow card. Thank you.
The first question to me, second question to
Okay, about the jumping of the fishermen. When I heard that one wife came to me and asked about husband passed away and how can we continue the families, and I continue that should we know that collect the data how many persons missing at sea during the COVID and until now. I asked the Royal Thai Police to request all police stations 22 provinces near the beach for if someone report to the police station and who get compensation fund. And then I identified that why you jumping is accident, is forced labor, is murder, everything is in our hand. But I cannot report this, but I have all information. And about the training, when we have this, we try to solve the problem why people jumping. Maybe have some problem, maybe have accident, chemical in the freezing or fighting, or someone needs to jump to save their life. So we ask the ship owner, ask the association, please training, because they keep all your belongings. They keep all your property. If the fishermen know to keep your property and give their life, win-win. So the ship owner said, okay, Apinya, we will training them for this case, because when the ship owner get all benefits, they will work with us. See, when I enter to the port, today I have TB training, today I have HIV training. It's benefit to your ship owner or something. They allow us to enter into the port. After that, we will talk about human rights, labor rights, and everything. That's why we should start from the healthcare to enter to the port and get the people. That's why this is why we need training.
Thank you. Could we just have, I know the lady over there was first, so just one more very quick question and then very quick answers, because we've only got a couple of minutes left. So just a short question, please.
刚刚有听到那个柬埔寨这边有在提到，就是说没收证件、超时工作或是最低的工资， 时工作，或是最低工资啊，或者是没收证件这样子的情况。我还以为他在讲台湾哦，对，但是呢，其实大部分都是相同的状况跟处境。我是在想说，因为我们的这个就是有一些区域的这个渔业组织，我们都有加入成为会员。如果是可以从区域这些组织来诉求，或者是请他们发挥一些功能哦，来做这个劳动的方面的这个照顾，或者是有一些这样子的保护措施，是不是有可能性？不然的话，我们一天到晚在做这个就在许愿这样子的方式而已啊、那已经达不到什么这样的效果。
Just a quick answer because time is not enough. I think the best way is to keep gathering. First, this is not easy. Many barriers, governments, agencies. We need to live together, stick together. It's the only way. It's not easy, but someday we can reach to that point that the fairness about the wages or these things never be easy. Anybody?
Answer about the EU yellow card. Because when the United States government asked the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to work on the yellow card, and I'm the one who present in EU parliaments in Brazil, and we the one who present in Boston for yellow card, and after that we remove all the yellow cards. And when we come back about the document, it's mean in Thailand the previous government we have import out. When the vessel need to port in before 24 hours, and if they're coming back to the port, they need to report in 24 hours. We have manual from the labor inspection, and also we have the VMS vessel monitoring system to random check about this. The case of port in, port out, when we inspection before selling, we ask the fisherman that what about your wages, what about your document or something in that time inside the port, in front of everyone, the fisherman will say everything is fine, everything okay, cannot find the case now, but we give the name card. If you have anything needs to say with Stella Maris, you come out or add me messenger. All the case of Stella Maris in Thailand was from messenger.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all the presenters. I'm afraid we've got a lot of time for questions. If you want to stand up and stretch for the moment, as we're switching over to the next one, please feel free to do so. If you want to do cartwheels or anything like that, there's some space over there. But we're moving on to our next session, so everyone just stretches their legs and moves around until we get a cup of coffee and half an hour.
In Thailand? Excellent question. Why are rural Cambodians and Burmese fishers never recruited from rural areas in Cambodia and Myanmar? Come on, how simple. Imagine conditions so bad, you have essentially committing suicide. Jumping. Now, Thailand ratified this 28 insufficient protective equipment, and inhumane living quarters and bathrooms. Financial exploitation. Many fishers receive wages less than the agreed upon amount of their employment contract, and oftentimes wages are still paid in cash instead of by monthly bank transfers required by Taiwan. Fishers also remain at high risk of insurmountable debt resulting from unlawful migration, documented overseas. Fishers' passports, work permits, ATM cards, bank books, other identity documents are often held in possession of people aware of the cabinet. Fishers can't access them, or they're denied access to the documents to be able to move or travel freely. As I said before, 188 has not been effectively implemented or enforced. And there are significant obstacles to migrant worker organizing and collective bargaining. Thai labor law does not currently meet international labor standards. It restricts migrant workers from legally flowing through collectively bargaining with their employer, which is ILO Conventions 87 and 98. Without the fundamental right to organize, protected by law, migrant workers remain vulnerable to labor exploitation and risk employer retribution, unfair penalties, and termination if they collectively organize, demand better wages, and working conditions. Despite these challenges, the Fishers' Rights Network has organized over 5,000 fishers since we started. We've been working to get fishers engaged on their issues, to bring those issues to the attention of their vessel owners. And the key thing that's different between a union and an NGO is we're not providing services or benefits to fishers. We're helping them organize to stand up, to demand better working conditions from their vessel owner that's written in an agreement, right? That's enforceable. Because the power that these fishers have is their labor. If they don't work, the fishing vessel doesn't make money. The owner doesn't have a nice potato bed and so forth. So we've been working to push to have fishers negotiate collective agreements. We've expanded our organizing centers to 5 now, all over the country. We've been working throughout the different ports. We're working about 11 different ports in Thailand to distribute medicine and do medicine kit training, first aid, CPR, safety and health, occupational safety and health. Many people have mentioned that here today. But really, we've been working to train migrant fishers on basic first aid, CPR, wound care, emergency procedures at sea. All things that can save a fisher's life. Because a lot of times these vessels are maybe more than 1 day's journey away from shore. So if that fisher has a severe accident, keeping him alive until he gets back to shore is a really important consideration. So the title of my presentation is Obstacles and Challenges and what we've done to overcome them. I know I'm standing between us and a coffee break, so I won't go on too long. But really, we've had to get creative about our access strategies because the industry situation is where these are not factory workers that are living and working in the community and going to a single location every day for 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day and then coming home at night. These fishers are really difficult to catch. You don't know when they're going to be in port or how long they're going to be in port or how much time they're going to have. And so, we have to be in the port where they are. Some people, fishers are very concerned about their captain or their vessel owner monitoring who they're talking to or what they're being told or what kind of information they're getting if they're reporting violations about their rights. And so one of the main things we've done is really getting fishers engaged in health and safety trainings. That's something non-threatening that most vessel owners are okay with. We will give them health and safety training. Everyone benefits, the fishers, the captain, and the vessel becomes much safer. But then also our organizers can contact those fishers and talk to them about organizing their union. We can set up an opportunity to have a conversation at a different invite lots of fishers together. There's safety in numbers. Fishers feel more safe if they're with their whole crew. In Thailand, we've also worked with the port in, port out authorities, taking different trainings and different outreach. And all of our staff are either Khmer or Burmese. They speak the language that the fishers speak. So when they're present at an inspection, if a fisher wants to raise an issue, they feel more comfortable if an FRN staff member is there and they can speak to them in their own language. So it's been really a difficult process to get access to fishers. You don't know when they're coming to the port, how long they're going to be there. It's a really potentially scary situation for the fishers to report violations. We had to get very creative about how we reach out to fishers. I'd say another lesson learned from our organizing projects has been communication in language is extremely important. So we've hired organizers that can speak fishers' language, Burmese and Khmer, or different dialects. Literacy levels and education levels are a serious challenge as well. So a lot of fishers are not literate or have a really low level of education. They can't read sophisticated pamphlets or leaflets on their legal rights or labor rights. So we use a lot of videos or audio-visual types of things so that fishers can see that, maybe in a comic book format, maybe in a Facebook video, in their own language, so they can listen to it instead of reading it, or they can see pictures of it and understand that their documents being held by their captain is not okay, and then maybe how they can report. We really have to meet the fishers where they're at, and it can be challenging because of different education levels. I also think, it's very important that we do give social welfare and welfare benefits to fishers. There's a lot of NGOs like Stella Maris and Hartough and other organizations that do welfare benefits for fishers. But I think we need to encourage fishers to stand on their own 2 feet, stand up for their own rights. And so we challenge them, look, this is not, John's union or some other international NGO's union, right? This is your union, your organization. So pushing fishers to take action to change their own lives is really something that I think is important. It is a different communication strategy than maybe some of the NGOs have. We've also done pre-departure education and training. Getting to fishers before they depart can be an excellent opportunity to educate them on their rights, instruct them on how to proactively protect themselves, give them information to connect with organizations that can assist them in case of trouble. So that's embassy information, unions, different NGOs like Stella Maris, or others. And I think for unions, it's also an opportunity to engage with fishers and educate them about the union and discuss their employment contract provisions, what they should expect, and then any CBA provisions or collective bargaining agreement provisions. In a place like the Philippines, a fisher who's going overseas should be protected under a collective bargaining agreement. But a lot of those fishers haven't read it, they don't understand it. So we've got an opportunity to educate them about what their rights are, how they can be enforced, who they should talk to if there's a violation of their contract. I'd say we have to have realistic expectations when we're organizing migrant workers. Working in a lot of the countries where there's migrant labor, either sending or receiving countries, many countries' labor laws do not currently meet international labor standards. And they restrict migrant workers from legally organizing. And without fundamental rights to organize that are protected by law, migrant workers remain vulnerable to labor exploitation and risk employer retribution, unfair penalties, and termination if they collectively organize and demand better wages and working conditions. impact the supply chain process in a significant and meaningful way. So if we do our job properly and organize them into a strong group, it can really have an impact and take things to the next level. Looking to the future, improving fisher protections. I apologize, my slides aren't moving up very well in this back format, but looking to the future, eliminating exploitation and raising labor standards for fishers in the fly fishing industry in Southeast Asia is an ongoing struggle. The ICF is committed to meeting, and it's challenging, but we're working hard to establish the fisher rights network in the region and expand. We've done the start of the regional network. We've started the global justice for fishers campaign. We're continuing to work to build our presence globally because the ICF recognizes this is a global problem. So we've started the Fish Support Network, which is a subset of our inspectorate, operating with now 15 inspectors globally that are specially trained to work on investigating cases on fishing vessels. We have campaigns currently going in South America and because Indonesian, Filipino, and Thai fishers are popping up on Chinese vessels off the coast of Peru and Ecuador fishing for snow. We have a campaign in West Africa, working in Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Senegal. Many West African officials are trafficked in bad situations, working on vessels in the UK, popping up off the coast of Ireland. Obviously, we're working in Southeast Asia, and we're working with partners and allies here in Taiwan to see what more we can do. The ITF has affiliates in 140 countries. Our inspector network is very strong. Focusing on fishing as a global problem is a really important consideration. The ITF, I think, is uniquely positioned to take on that campaign. Our priorities in the Fisheries Rights Network for 2024, negotiating additional collective bargaining agreements. These are fisher negotiated agreements. This is not something from the top level that's driven downward. It's something that's coming from the bottom up, really speaking to fishers' issues, pushing them to action. We want to continue to improve on the existing agreements that we have, the codes of conduct that we have, and organize to push harder to get more international and global supply chain agreements with some of the big retailers and some of the big buyers. We'll continue our health and safety outreach. We'll continue to grow our membership. More than 5,000 members. We've reached that goal already. We're pushing to try to get to 6,000 this year. And obviously expanding regionally. We're working to continue our work to expand the Fisheries Rights Network and the global justice for fishers campaign. I know it's a little weird that you're all white Americans talking about Southeast Asia because I'm not from here. And I'm, running a campaign that's helping Burmese and Cambodian migrant fishers organize. I don't think you should necessarily be hearing from me, you should hear from them. So we have a message from our president, James Weed, who couldn't be here today, but he's back in an hour Thailand. I wanted to play that for me today to conclude the presentation. And there's no money. Is there someone that can fix the audio?
This session today, and a very important session because we've heard a lot about this many times. It's about Wi-Fi. So this is Wi-Fi now for our fishers at sea. And we're joined by Parhusip, who's the Global Labour and Justice, and Hartough from the Indonesian Seafarers Gathering Forum. And thank you very much for joining us.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan. I know it's almost the end of the day and I'm getting fewer people in the room. And also it seems the government also have left, if I can say it like that. Some of you have been familiar with our campaign. We started it a few almost 1.5 years already. So I'll just put my presentation. I have a graph and the slides is just pictures. So I'll try to explain what we have been doing. So I'm actually researcher here in Taiwan and a PhD student at a university in Taiwan called National University. And at the same time, I work with FOSB. I organize the visas and campaign for direct rights to get access to Wi-Fi in the high sea. So in 2023, Global Labour Justice launched the Wi-Fi Now for Visas Right at Sea campaign with several partners, including FOSB, or the main core of our campaign is called FOSB itself, or Indonesian Seafarers Gathering Forum. And the second is Taiwan Association for Human Rights. The third one is Stella Maris International Conference. The fourth one is Humanitarian Research Consultancy. Later on, Serve the People Association joined us. So, this need for Wi-Fi was identified by the fishers themselves, the FOSB, as their top priority. They have collected 1,000 petitions from their fellow fishers and members to demand Wi-Fi, and we took the petition to the Prime Minister, Chen Cheng-ten, in September last year. So, we launched this campaign to support FOSB in the fight for Wi-Fi. So, fishers or migrant fishers in particular working on Taiwanese system of the fleet can exercise their fundamental labor rights at sea and be able to join a union, participate in their union, and get advice in how to raise issues when problems escalate or become tragedies on the high seas. The campaign is calling for Wi-Fi to be installed on all designated fishing vessels on Taiwanese flag. This needs to be a mandatory, not a voluntary policy and well-regulated. The top priority demands for the campaign is to have accessible Wi-Fi for all visitors on board and to ensure that cost of Wi-Fi are not to be passed on to the visitors. As you may know, the salary is only $550. If they deduct from $550, the visitors will go nothing. And then the protection for visitors' privacy, so they can talk to their union without surveillance from the or retaliation from the captain or the employer. And reasonable and transparent rule for when or how the visitors have to use it should be consistent with the occupational safety and health for all workers. And also a pathway to solve problem agreed and with the employers without retaliation. So, Wi-Fi is an essential enabling factor for freedom of association for visitors. Being able to be proactive in search for solution while out at sea, which is the only way for visitors, for workers to collectively combat abuse and exploitation. And we're talking about the visitors, so I will invite our partner here, Mr. Adi. I will be just like occupy the whole stage, the whole presentation.
Nama saya Hadi, saya berasal dari Indonesia dan bekerja di industri perikanan Taiwan selama 18 tahun. Saya di sini mewakili forum pertemuan Laut Indonesia FOSB di Taiwan dan seluruh ABK yang bekerja di laut lepas saat ini. Kami adalah serikat pekerja yang independen dan partisipatif dengan kepemimpinan serikat pekerja yang dipilih secara demokratis 12 komunitas saat ini. Kami memiliki 2.300 anggota. didirikan pada tahun 2007 untuk memperjuangkan masjid bagi para ABK migran. Sejak saat itu, kami mulai menangani banyak keluhan dan pelanggaran ketenagakerjaan yang datang dari anggota dan ABK yang datang dari berbagai pelabuhan asing. Anggota kami bekerja di laut untuk jangka waktu yang sangat lama, antara 10 bulan sampai 1 tahun, hingga 1 tahun di laut lepas. Karena kami tidak memiliki wifi, kami benar-benar terisolasi di laut lepas selama berbulan-bulan dan tidak memiliki akses untuk berkomunikasi dengan keluarga, teman, atau melaporkan masalah kepada serikat, pekerja, pemerintah, atau penjara yang menjadi diperlukan. Hal ini menjadi masalah karena Pospi secara berkala menerima laporan menangani pelanggaran hak buruh di laut yang perlu ditangani. Sebagai contoh, kami telah mewakili kasus-kasus di mana seluruh awak kapal 20 ABK tidak dibayar selama 10 bulan atau 11 bulan saat laut. Banyak ABK yang juga menemukan penipuan, kondisi di kapal tidak sesuai dengan perjanjian, tetapi ABK tidak dapat mengeluh tentang hal ini. Kami menerima laporan dari para ABK bahwa makanan mereka tidak mencukupi atau kadaluarsa, air bersih tidak tersedia, obat-obatan sudah kadaluarsa atau tidak tersedia. Ketika ABK sakit atau mengalami kecelakaan di laut, tidak ada cara untuk mendapatkan perawatan medis atau meminta bantuan. Permasalahan ini bisa mengakibatkan kecacatan atau yang paling buruk, kematian. Tanpa wifi, ABK di perairan jauh tidak dapat menghubungi Pospi atau organisasi lain untuk meminta saran atau melaporkan masalah. Ini sebabnya mengapa wifi sangat penting. Kami berdialog dengan pemerintah dan asosiasi kapal, dan mereka tampaknya setuju bahwa kami butuh wifi, dan itu adalah tren saat ini. Tapi mereka tidak bersedia menyetujui permintaan kami untuk memastikan seluruh kapal terlindungi dan mempercepat penerapan wifi. Kita memerlukan aksi yang lebih cepat, mendorong saja tidak cukup. Kita harus memiliki hak untuk berorganisasi dan berkomunikasi dengan serikat kita. Kami membutuhkan wifi untuk membangun serikat kami dan untuk membangun kekuatan untuk mengubah keadaan. Seperti pekerja lainnya di Taiwan, kami harus diperlakukan dengan bermartabat dan hormat. Kami ingin menjadi bagian dari kehidupan keluarga kami, dan untuk itu kami membutuhkan hak untuk berkomunikasi di laut. Isolasi tidak baik untuk kesehatan mental kami. Inilah mengapa kami meminta dukungan Anda hari ini. Terima kasih.
That our campaign is growing and many more people are understand our demands, and we started this campaign just over a year ago, and it has taken us all over the world. I think we are invited here because the organizer also supporting us. We have the support from the US government through ILAB or International Labour Affairs Bureau. Kelly, who is the head of the Bureau of International Labour Affairs of the United States Labor Department, visited Pospi in February this year and explained to her, and Pospi explained that her office is committed to helping Pospi to win the Wi-Fi. And as well as we also have met with the TIP office or Trafficking in Person office in Washington DC, the trade office, the Congress member in March this year. Also, we have built a strong committee of supporters, including unions, migrant rights organizations and civil society organizations. In Boston, and all those allies have helped us to bring our demands to the trade negotiations between the US and Taiwan, and also to the companies buying tuna from Taiwan were in attendance at the North American Seafood Expo in March 2023 and 2024. We also made a formal submission to the TIP office with key recommendation for their upcoming TIP report in June. We will hold an event to share it with our allies next month. So please mark your calendar. We have been working with other organizations such as the Indonesians, where we are involved in putting concrete labor rights demands into the MOU between Taiwan and Indonesia. This will include the need for accessible Wi-Fi, RNC for visitors. With the support of ITF and ETF, we have also recently met with various representatives from the European Union Commission, including DG Trade, DG Mare, DG Employ, and the European External Action Service to communicate the issues faced by the migrant visas in Taiwan and to hear about their newly regulation to combat products produced with forced labor. And finally, we are also building a network of support in Japan, Taiwan's main export market for tuna, where we will be expanding our campaign this year. Our hope is to keep growing the support and impact our demand so migrant visas can defend their labor rights to get solution in real time, not when it's too late. Taiwan government must regulate mandatory Wi-Fi for all fishing vessels. We ask this conference to lend their voice in support of our campaign. Please share our story, offer video message of support, and tell the government and the industry's representatives it's time Wi-Fi access at sea for migrant visas. Thank you.
Right? So in the United States, big buyers could, if they chose, do enforceable brand agreements, making sure that they invest in this fleet, because they know that Taiwan is going in the right direction. However, we need more pressure. So Japan is the biggest buyer. So we started a process in Japan, and also obviously, we this work with the Indonesian government. Yeah.
I know, for those who don't know, the US State Department publishes every year what's called trafficking in person, and it evaluates the responses of the country. And I understand that you was do a submission, I think you do a report just before the TIP report comes out, and you disclose in that submission, and you generate interest. We launch that soon, I think you're going to explain about that.
Yeah, so we are doing both movement building but also policy work. And one of our main places to really kind of push as global labor justice for sure is the American government themselves and how they are dealing with their buyers. So the TIP office, we submit every year, we submit a report both for Thailand as well as Taiwan. And this year we will have it online. We will send a report and share with our allies. So you're all very welcome to join us online. We'll ask, Father Bruno to let all of you know and send an invitation so you can join us. And then you can see what we have said about the report. Yeah, but any questions, let us know. Please.
Yes, I've got a question for you. I think this is not a question, but it's because I don't know that is what I meant. Have you said in Indonesia, a lot of fishermen, women dropped out because of lack of communication. So I have to support that. Free Wi-Fi to the fishermen. Because no Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi.
Can I need answer the question? To make it sense.
Can you do it in English? No?
family is matter, why communication and sales matter, why this exploitation in these industries can be solved through communication. I think we have to transcend the same message to the government, and we cannot just punish the government by this and that, but how we can collaborate together with the government. I think this is what we wanted.
Let's come to your question.
My question is about the technology side of this question, away from the policy side of the question. In partnership, really substantial change in this past year has been the adoption of Starlink over so many partnerships, and we're not exactly certain. It's changing rapidly, really much more rapidly than you guys thought. Wondering in the fishing side, is Starlink being brought on board for commercial reasons, for operational reasons, or whatever reasons, and could that help your campaign by having much more reasonably cost technology on board that will help with communications?
Jason, I don't know if you saw here, but we have visited the Ministry of Communications and the Digital Ministry. And the issue with Starlink, first of all, let's just say that this is affordable, it's becoming more affordable, and a lot of vessel owners already have it. They just don't share it with their crew. The ones that don't have it, the government will subsidize, right? So issues, or we can go to the government, or we can go to the private sector and say invest on it. So bigger, you know.
Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Hani.